guys, welcome back to the Arts to Hearts podcast. This is your host Charaka. Welcome back. Welcome back to another solo episode with me. I know I haven't been here for a couple of weeks and I'm so sorry if you were expecting and I couldn't show up, but I just needed this time. I needed to show up only when I felt it was right. And actually, this is something that I really want to talk about in this episode. So stay tuned because I really want to share something and I want to share why I wasn't here, why I didn't publish my solo episodes, and everything in between that I feel is very important. And I know I'm not alone, and I also want to share what I did with that. But before we get into that into that whole conversation, actually in this episode, I also want to share something that we've been working on and a few exciting things that are going on at Arts to Hearts project right now. You know how passionate I am about community, conversation, women, artists, and just I know how much impact and difference it has made in my life, in my career, having the right people around me, having a supportive community, and not being dependent only on a community that's available to me in my immediate geography. I was able to access and meet people from around the world via the internet. And of course, while you meet a lot more people, you filter and you find the people that feel the most aligned with you. And that's what I did, and that's what I've been doing even now, and I know I will keep on doing it forever I am here, because I don't want to miss out on the potential that I can find great collaborators with, people that I can grow with, work with, be friends with, and I want to keep experimenting, learning new people. So because of that, there's something that we're now launching on Arts to Hearts, which is actually there. The first event is on the 5th of April. You have to see which timeline you're from and you'll be able to see the date and time for yourself. But we are introducing, and we have introduced, which are called the Artist Meetup, the ATH Artist Meetups. These meetups are basically, a way to break some ice amongst other artists, where it's difficult for you to reach out to different people, build connections, where we come in between. We are hosting international meetups where we are inviting artists for a very affordable price of $10 with no commitment, just showing up when you want and get a chance to meet women from all around the world who are creative like you, are in the creative world, and exchange thoughts, build connections, meet each other. And that's what is just the beauty of this process. I feel like we are in the age and time where the internet has so much to offer to us for our welfare, and we need to make the maximum output and usage of that. So yeah, the ATH Artist Meetups are a series of meetups we will be hosting. The first meetup that we're hosting is now live. You can book a spot. The spots are limited to only 20 seats. We want to make sure that we don't accommodate anyone beyond that, because we want to have like a good number, but also a number that feels safe and intimate, where people can actually have a conversation, talk about things, and share their inputs. Okay, so yeah, this is something that I really, really feel like if you want to be a part of something we do, this is very affordable, something I'm sure that will give you a lot of input. I will myself be hosting these meetups, will be there, bridging the gap, having the conversation. So if you want to work with me, this is just the wonderful way. I would love to get to know you, support you, and in this process, let's make a community that we really feel connected to, that we feel very more aligned to, that we all can grow together in, uplift each other, cheer for each other. Yes. Another thing that's also live on the Arts to Arts project now are the solo exhibits open call. I'm very excited about this one because we've been hosting group shows for some time now. Arts to Hearts is known for hosting one of the best online shows for artists online, and I am very, very proud of that. The effort that it takes to put together an entire show is just, oh goodness, that's just too much, but we love to do it. We love to make sure that when you become a part of something, you feel very proud to share about it. You feel that experience that we want to give to you. We want you to experience and feel special in every way possible. So with every group exhibit, we've made sure to do something different. We send you out invites. We give our artists invites to send them to their own, following, and then we have videos, we have features, catalogs, and everything. So we decided that group shows are great, we'll keep doing them, but solo shows are an important part for every artist. They want to experiment, they want to have a space that and focus that's dedicatedly on them. And honestly, I also love that idea. It's one synchronized story, hosting an online show for just one artist, telling their story, making videos for them, and just helping them and seeing the impact, the overall impact it can bring. So we've launched the solo exhibit call. You can find like this call and the ATH artist meetups both on the submit section on our website. The deadline for ATH artist meetup is basically, I think, the first event is happening on the 5th of April, the Indian Standard Time, and the EST time. I don't know what time zone you're listening in. I highly recommend you go on our website, visit the page, and see what time zone it is for you, and what if that works for you. We would love to have you. The solo exhibits also, the deadline is mentioned on the page itself, so I highly recommend that you check both of them out, and I hope I can see you on either of and or both of them. Okay, coming back into the episode. Now, this is something I really wanted to talk about. I'm not recording this episode in my traditional setup. I don't have my mics. I have nothing for some reason. But I really wanted to talk about it, and I thought, why not? I've missed a couple of weeks ago. I didn't show up, and at that point, I felt like I didn't want to, because I was not feeling, the best of myself. And it's not that best of myself. I've also shown up when I was at my worst point, but something just didn't feel right. Didn't feel right about me doing this at that point. So I decided I wanted to take a step back. Now, today I felt ready. I wanted to do it, but I realized I didn't have anything. I don't even have my regular mics. The mic I would either use in the most less probable situation. So perhaps I'm recording now right from my phone with my headphones and stuff. So when you really want to show up, why I'm sharing this is, when you really want to show up, you show up. And when something doesn't feel right, no matter how well prepared your physical environment or all of these things are, it just doesn't feel right. So what really happened was that I was working, regularly doing the thing that I'm doing. In that process, I was, I just felt like I was running in this, in a hamster wheel. Sometimes, you create panic and you work from a place of anxiety and fear, either when things are not working out. And another experience that I have had is a lot of actions come from anxiety and fear when you put a lot more pressure, when you feel like a lot of things are happening and you want to make sure that this is not the last time, and you want to maximize on it, and then you need to grow from it and all of that. And I feel like this is what happened with me this time. A lot of things were working. I was somewhere when you see the rise, small dips make you feel anxious. At least that's what happened with me also. Before that, if something didn't work, I was like, okay, out of these things, this one also didn't work, or something like that. But once you experience something that's been working, and when you find, why is this not working any longer, or what's wrong, or, even a slightest, something that may not even be so huge, but even slightest of dip makes you feel anxious, and at least it did to me. And then, I went into this place where I was operating wholly from a place of anxiety and fear, where my actions, I felt like I had to maximize the time. I had to make sure that, I do my best. And I was also being burnt out. I think I've been dealing with a lot of emotional stress ever since my mom passed away. I've been feeling a lot more emotional stress ever since the whole lockdowns have been opened up. Because, in that process, I feel like I was working from a very safe bubble, a cocoon, that didn't matter where I was working from. I knew that it's not only just me who's in this cocoon, but all of us. And now I think I can see the world moving. I can see a lot more things happening for other people. And for some reason, I feel like I don't want to go back into that zone. I feel great with, working when I am in my own bubble, but I just still haven't figured out how I want to deal with this world reopening where I want to put myself back in, how it's going to affect my work, my life, and a lot of more things that are moving bits and pieces. So, of course, a lot more things were making me anxious, and I was still not in a place of discomfort. And in that process, when you add more discomfort because you feel like you want to keep doing something and something and something, just because those actions, they are not coming from a place of abundance, and they're instead coming from a place of fear. Like, if I don't do this right now, I may not be able to do at all, or like, what if this has happened, if I don't maximize it now, I'm going to lose it all, or like, things like that. And I think that's what really taught me all this while, was that when I felt like things were not working, and surprisingly they were, because when I acted from a place of anxiety and fear, I actually ruined a lot more things than making them better. And I did actions and things that I wouldn't have done, in a normal time, in a normal place. I am a very intentional person. I like to think, like, as much as I like to jump on projects, I also am very careful of how I approach them. I don't take decisions. I feel like I don't take decisions. I do take decisions out of excitement, where I feel like, oh yeah, this project really seems nice to me, or I really want to do it, I feel very called to it. But I don't take decisions where I feel like, oh, I have to do this now, I may not be able to do it at all, or like I would just working from a place of fear. That's not something who I am, and I became that. I took decisions that I wouldn't have, and when I crossed that stage and I saw what was happening, I felt burnt out. Something was very wrong in that whole process, and I didn't have to slow down. I actually had to pause everything, which is quite a dangerous feeling, if I tell you. Not that my world ended, nothing went wrong. In fact, I feel like I've got my sanity back. But honestly, it's not something that should come to. I feel like slowing down is so much better for the mental health and everything than to go burn out so much and then do everything, of course, I felt was right but wasn't, and then come to a point that to look back and to reconfigure things, I had to stop. And I did, because I knew that if I wouldn't stop right now, all my decisions will come from the same place of anxiety and fear, and that just wouldn't make sense, and I didn't want that to happen at all. And I took a pause. I really tried to disconnect. I haven't been showing up so much on my Instagram, especially on the podcast. I didn't come for a couple of Mondays with these solo episodes. So, I learned that it's okay to be more intentional with things you want to do. I know we all feel pressurized when we see something everyone else is doing, all of those things that they're achieving. But believe me, we all will have our own time and place and our own path to reach where we are. When we try to push too hard, I mean, I'm all for someone like to working our best and everything, but working from a place of fear versus working from a place of abundance is such a remarkable difference in our own process. I know I have certain things, I've worked from such a place of abundance, and I've never felt pressurized. I feel like even more than the destination, I have really, really enjoyed the journey. But when I operate from a place of fear, honestly, that hasn't ever worked in my favor. And this incident was such a big reminder for me that where I was going from in this direction and how I needed to fix it. Honestly, if you ask me if I have my answers, I don't think I do. But what's important for me is that I've recognized that something is wrong and I need to change my patterns, and that will affect a lot of things around me, and that's okay. I'm still going to work, and I will choose every day to work from a place of love more than my fear. I know we all have fears and we need to face them, and that's what I do. That's what I always advocate for. But once you know that those fears are taking over you, is where the whole alert needs to come in, and you need to rectify and you need to figure out why this fear is getting so strong, how you can fix it, how you can reframe your mind, what little actions can you take. And sometimes asking the right questions are just so much more important than just even taking an action, because you need to know where you're going. If it feels more aligned to you in that process, I also want to emphasize that the gut that we have, our intuition, is such a big ally for our life, our business, everything. I was just looking back at the incidents that didn't feel right, and I was asking myself if I would have taken this, all of these decisions, if I wouldn't be in this pit. And I was dead sure that I wouldn't. I could see so many red flags, and I ignored even then, because I was in such a hurry. I was in such a place of, I wanted to get this done, that I didn't. I just ignored them, and that's, I think, something that I will work more on. And I just wanted to share this experience, because if you are there, if you feel your actions are coming from a place of abundance, or if they're coming from a place of anxiety or fear, you need to ask yourself questions. Why are you doing this? Are you doing this because you're afraid something may go wrong, or you want to capitalize on something, or is it the excitement of something that's making you do those actions? Is it that belief that no matter, even if this fails, even if this happens, you just are excited for the entire process? I feel like and it's not like you can't find that abundance even in adversity. But sometimes, because of the whole system, societal, the way we work, a lot more parameters like, followers, numbers, all of these things come in play, and they bring out, this anxiety and fear in us, that validation that, drives us all crazy. And I feel like we always need to, like, point out if that's where we are, and then replace it, reframe it with something that is more from a place of abundance, more from a place of love, that helps you keep going and doesn't take you in a direction of burnout. And yeah, that's what I have to share today. I will see you in the next episode with my irregular interviews, and I will keep showing up alternatively, I promise, from now. And honestly, I really want these solo episodes to be more conversational versus just me sharing. I mean, I would love to hear from you, anyone who's listening to this episode. If you have any questions, if you want me to share something from my own experiences, something that you have questions about, please write to me, send me a DM, email, at Hearts to Hearts, or just me, or wherever you feel is right for you. Because I think that way, this podcast is just not about me, it's about you and me both. Every artist interview I do, of course, I ask questions that are curious to me, but I also ask questions that I know will be something that you would want to know about. And with these solo episodes, again, I always try to be as transparent as possible, but sometimes I am not able to figure out what is that information that you need, what is that will probably will make more sense to you, or what is that something that's pressing you right now. You are the best person to tell me that, and I want to hear from you, so that these solo episodes can add more value to you, can have something that you truly would treasure and take. And I will keep always sharing my own perspective, of course. But yeah, please let me know who you are. Introduce yourself. Tell me you listen to this podcast. Tell me where you're from. And believe me, I would be more than happy to hear from you. Please don't refrain yourself from sending me a message. And if you have questions, feel free to just drop those in my DMs, in Hearts to Hearts DMs, on our email, anywhere else that you feel. And if you feel this podcast has any value to you, a review, of course, is one of the biggest way you can help us. I haven't really talked about them for a while, but I really want to say that if you really like the work I do, and honestly it takes a lot more work than I can put in words, but I just want to say, if you really do, then please just send us a review on Spotify or on Apple or anywhere you listen to your podcast. And that will just, I know I'm not bouncing this off into the dark. We have a lot more reviews on Apple, and seeing your name in that list will not only, you know, it's these are like trophies, mementos that I'm going to cherish all my life, remember in days when they're hard, and just let me keep going more than anything else. Okay, so I will see you next week. I have some amazing Indian artists. I have, oh god, we have so many new records. I have had some really wonderful recordings, conversations that I'm really excited to share with you. So yeah, stay tuned. I'll see you back soon again. Sending you lots of love. Mwah. Bye.